So we always hear about red flags and the toxic things to avoid in relationships, which are very important, and I did a whole video on that. But today we're actually going to be talking about green flags. So the signs that you're in an emotionally safe and stable relationship. Because yes, it's important to know about the things that you don't like, but in order to attract a high quality partner, we also need to know what we do like. My goal is that by the end of this video, you're going to have a solid list of 7 key aspects to observe in your own relationship or things to be mindful of before you get into one in the future. Hey everyone, welcome back. And if you are new here, my name is Lanz, and on this channel, we talk about all things modern dating, relationships, and self-improvement as we go on this journey together to become the best version of ourselves. So let's start with the big one right out the gate, and that is open communication. The sign of a healthy relationship is when each of you feel comfortable to talk about how you feel, even if that topic feels a little bit vulnerable or difficult, and each of you makes space for your voices to be heard and validated. For example, in a healthy relationship, when you bring something up, you don't feel fearful that your partner is going to get defensive or shut down. Instead, when an inevitable disagreement happens, like all relationships have, they're going to speak kindly and respectfully to you. An example of a healthy response would be, "I didn't realize you felt that way. Let's talk about it." And your partner's going to engage in active listening and genuinely want to understand where you're coming from. And what that's also going to do is it's going to encourage future open communication because neither of you are scared to bring something up and have that lead to an unnecessary fight. And if you want to explore how to have healthy communication with your partner in more depth, I have quite a few videos on that, so be sure to check those out after this video. Number 2 is one of the most underrated green flags, and that is consistency. In your relationship, each of you should know what to expect from the other. Each of your words carry weight, and neither of you are left feeling confused or in the dark. For example, each of you text or call when you say you will, you show up to plans, and neither of you go missing for 3 days and then hit the other person with the "hey, sorry, I've just been really busy" text. Consistency is the key to building trust. I always like to think of being in a relationship as a verb rather than a noun. So it's the action of taking care, putting in consistent effort, and showing up every day for the one you love, not just when it's convenient for you. Green flag number 3 is you respect each other's boundaries. I know when you're in love, you feel super connected and you want to do everything with that person and just be a part of every aspect of their life, but being in a healthy relationship means you acknowledge that you are 2 separate individuals with specific needs. So whether it's emotional, physical, or even just needing a little solo time, when a partner sets a boundary, the other one should not guilt trip the other person or take that as an attack on them. For example, imagine your partner saying something like, "I just need a night to myself to recharge." And instead of you interpreting that as, "I don't want to spend time with you," instead, you remove your ego from the situation and you can maturely and objectively understand that your partner wanting to take some personal time has nothing to do with you. It doesn't mean they hate you or they're falling out of love with you. So a healthy reply on your part might sound something like, "I totally get it. Take the time you need to recharge. Let me know if you want to hang out tomorrow." That's not just respectful, that's so attractive because it shows that you're empathetic, you're not taking it personally, and it's a great example of being securely attached rather than toxically codependent. Green flag number 4 is when apologies are made, they actually mean it. Even in the healthiest of relationships, you are bound to mess up at some point, but a green flag partner knows how to own their mistakes and correct them. So instead of your partner saying, "I'm sorry you feel that way," which we all know is code for "I don't care," instead they're gonna say, "I'm sorry I hurt you. I understand why that upset you, and I'm gonna do better by doing XYZ. Taking real accountability matched with articulating a plan on how you're gonna make positive change is a huge green flag, and it shows that you're dedicated to the health and longevity of the relationship. Green flag number 5 is they celebrate you, they don't compete with you, because your win does not equal their loss and vice versa. I already know there's gonna be a shocking amount of people that can relate to this, but for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, essentially there are people out there that get jealous of their partner's success and find some way to minimize it. So they want to establish themselves as their competitor rather than their companion. Whereas green flag partners are each other's personal cheerleaders and they feel motivated by each other's wins. So you get a promotion, they're buying you flowers. They get a shout out, you're cheering the loudest. You post a cute photo, they're hyping you up in the comments. A healthy relationship is when you aren't intimidated by each other's light. Instead, you bask in it. The sixth green flag is potentially the most important, and that is you feel like your full self when you're with them. Two really important questions to ask yourself in your relationship is, do I like who I become when I'm with them? And do they inspire me to be the best version of myself? When you're in a healthy relationship, you shouldn't feel the need to shrink, impress, or perform in order to get your partner's approval. You should be able to be your silly, serious, messy, quirky self, and they love you for all of it, not some filtered version of you. So you not only feel comfortable to be who you are when you're with them, but they also elevate your most positive qualities, bring out new qualities in you that you didn't even know existed, and they also lower your negative ones. And because we're operating as the best version of ourselves, we end up living at a higher vibration where we're attracting more abundance and blessings. The last green flag is not talked about enough, and that is the positive physical signs. A good tool that I like to use to know if I'm in a healthy dynamic is to listen to what my body is telling me. Being around your partner should feel like a deep breath out, like their presence gives you peace and your nervous system can relax. I know I'm in a good place if my partner brings me out of that anxious, overthinking state and into a place of relaxation, reassurance, and the ability to be present. My chest doesn't feel tight, my mind can settle down, and that's my body and my intrinsic intuition telling me I'm in a good, safe place. The opposite might be that your body language becomes very closed off or tense. You may engage in anxious self-soothing like nail biting, or you could have trouble sleeping. Maybe you're chronically sick or tired. All of those are very strong indications that this person may not be good for you and you need to make some adjustments. I know personally for me, when I was in a bad relationship, I was getting sick all the time, and I had no idea that that was my body's physical response to essentially shutting down because I was constantly in fight or flight. So always be mindful about how you're physically feeling when you're with them and what your body is telling you. So those were just a few green flags that can show that you're in something healthy and worth growing. Feel free to comment down below what green flags you think are super important or that you have in your own relationship, because I think it's important to normalize celebrating the good stuff and giving people some hope that there is good love out there. If this video resonated with you, be sure to give it a like, share it with a loved one, and subscribe for more real talk on relationships, self-improvement, and everything in between. Bye!